Hello, Crafty Crandall here, and today I thought I would do kind of a fun, different video than my normal videos. I want to do a sketch with me, which I have done before, but I wanted to make it more of like an outfit of the day because I recently got this really cool sweater that I've been loving wearing, and I thought that it would be like a fun thing to incorporate into my sketchbook. So without any further ado, let's jump in, shall we? Alright, and welcome to the voiceover portion of this video. I hope that you enjoyed the sketch. It was a very, as I said, sped up process because the sketch took quite a while and I really only wanted to voice over the painting part of the piece. As you can see, I am painting with my Sennelier watercolors on my hot press Etchr Lab sketchbook. This is one of the only times that I have watercolored on hot press paper, so it has been a bit of an experience. As you can see, the skin tone that I am painting on the current face is not all that great. I was very displeased with how this one particular face turned out, but that was the purpose of this practice. I wanted to practice two specific things. I wanted to practice skin tones, and I wanted to practice the folds of the sweater. So those were the two things that I was targeting, and overall I liked how the upper face came out. I think that it came out cute, but overall I think that the practice on the folds of the sweater and like just getting better at displaying clothing in more than just like a straight line. I feel like most of the time if I'm sketching and I am painting clothing, it is very boxy. It doesn't have a lot of shape to it. Like for instance with the knee cap where the leggings kind of fold over themselves. That's something that I would never normally depict like on my own if I were just to be sketching this without a reference. So I really leaned into the reference hard on these, and I really tried to capture just all of the little nooks and crannies of the sweater and also what little bit there was on the leggings. Additionally, I wanted to capture the beautiful flowers. My boyfriend gave me roses for Valentine's Day, and so I used them as part of my reference photos for this. I took a lot of reference photos. I took the more like portrait style photos with the flowers, and then I also did a video of me just like posing in front of the mirror, and then I took screenshots from the video so that I could have a good enough reference to draw from, and that's what you saw me holding up in my iPad in front of the beginning of the video. I also referenced that multiple times throughout this process, and I cut out all of the like little pauses that I took to look at my reference, and I also cut out all of the color mixing and all of the places where I like went to get my water for the most part. So the video is sped up to 2 times speed for the painting process, and I have also cut out all of those things. All in all, I think that this piece took about an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete, as far as like keeping in all of the drawing time and everything. I would say about an hour and a half at least, because the sketch, like I said, took about 45 minutes, and then the actual painting process probably took another 45 minutes. So I've managed to condense it down a little bit for you here. I hope that you don't mind the sped up process. I would like to do a shorter, like real-time paint with me in the future again, but those kind of have to have a little bit more planning than this piece did. This was more of I wanted to sketch this piece, and I just kind of haphazardly decided to film it after the fact. So that's why it required a bit more intense editing for this particular piece, rather than just having it in real time, because like I did have to stop and look at my reference quite a bit, and obviously being a watercolor, I was using quite a bit of water. So there were a lot of pauses throughout the process. That said, let me know down in the comments below if you like this style of video, or if you would prefer a more slowed down real-time painting process. And let me know what type of voiceover content that you would want to hear. Anything that you would want my perspective on, or any topics that you'd want me to talk about during the voiceover, because I personally hate like watching a video with just music. It drives me insane. So I'm doing my best not to do that to my videos, but at the same time, I do realize that it can also be frustrating when the creator, i.e. me in this case, goes on and on and on senselessly without a point. So I would be curious to know what you prefer, and again, any topics that you would want me to cover, because I find that I do better when I actually have a purpose for what I'm talking about, rather than a video like this where I don't really have a ton of commentary to make. I can try to give some insights as to how the process went, but overall this was more so just a fun, sketchy process, and it was a painting that I really just enjoyed creating. It was really low-key, I had no pressure whatsoever, and it's in a sketchbook that I've kind of been using for a lot of experimentation lately. Like, this is the sketchbook that I've got all of my gouache paintings in. I've got a couple of like screenshot redraws, and actually I have another screenshot redraw coming up soon as well. I took a screenshot from Peaky Blinders that I am so excited to paint, and I have not done so yet. So I will be doing that soon as well, so look forward to that video, and depending on the process for that one, I might actually make that a real-time paint with me. We'll have to see. But again, this is my more like low-key, chill sketchbook, so I was able to kind of just have fun with this piece. Overall, again, I did really like how the top face came out, especially after I added these the shadows to the face. I thought that added a lot of dimension to the face. I think I could have pushed it further. I'm realizing every single time I paint a face, with the exception of one time that I can think of, I don't push it far enough. I stop because I'm scared of overdoing it. And so I really just need to spend some time in my sketchbook to push past that and push a little bit further into the shadows of the face, and making sure that I'm really capturing all of the different dimensions that the face has, because honestly, these look a little bit flat in the end. While I think that the top face has a lot more of it than the bottom face, I do see where it could have been pushed further. So that said, one of my goals this year is to practice portraiture and get better at drawing faces. So that is all just part of the process, and hopefully at some point after I've like practiced enough, I can feel comfortable really leaning into my paints and trusting them to do what I need them to do. Oftentimes I start with a base layer on the face. As you see here, I did the base layer of pretty much every color and then layered on top of it as the paint dried. But particularly with the face, I always try to start with like a base color, and then I'll add a layer on top of it. And then I'll usually go in with one more layer of shadows, and then I stop. When really I should probably do 4 or 5 different layers to really add in those shadows and just feather them out with clean water as well. That's something that I didn't really do enough of here. You can see like very harsh lines in a lot of the shadows, and if I had feathered them out with clean water, they might have looked better and I might have felt more comfortable going back in and kind of reworking them a little bit more. Similarly for the hair, I struggle to paint hair. I don't know what it is. I don't have like a firm grasp of hair in general. Portraits, I would say that I'm fair at drawing like with graphite. If I just do a plain graphite sketch, so in black and white, I can really get the values of the face, I feel. However, with the hair, I have never once been able to really, I don't have a single piece in mind that I can think of that I did the hair well. I really, really struggle to paint hair. So, you know, I might try to find like a tutorial online, maybe from one of my favorite YouTubers to follow along with. And I think I would probably end up filming that process, because I do have on my list of video ideas to, again, do a more like tutorial following video. And so maybe that would be a good one to do as I'm just mentioning it out loud here in this voiceover, because hair is something that I really, really struggle to paint. And you will see that as I continue forward with the hair in this piece. It never ends up looking good. I don't know if it's because my references like didn't have good enough lighting, or if it's because I just really struggle to figure out where the shadows are with the hair. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. And it was funny because I took these reference photos knowing that my hair was like in a place that I was happy with. I struggle with my hair in general just as a person. I don't have very many good hair days. And so, to be honest, I took the photos because I was like, ooh, I'm having a good hair day. Let me try to take some good reference photos so that I can learn how to paint hair. And then to have the hair turn out the way that it did was just a little bit disappointing, because I just don't have enough painting skills to really make it come alive. So I apologize for that really long-winded explanation on the hair, but hopefully that lends some perspective into my painting process so that you know that I know where I'm weak in. I will say, I think that the shadows on the sweater, which I did in my Holbein gouache, by the way. Holbein gouache? I apologize. I still pronounce that wrong. I have been corrected so many times and I still don't pronounce it right, so I apologize. But I think that the shadows that they lent to the sweater came out actually really good. I loved how the gouache mixed with the watercolor. I love how I was able to layer on top of it and kind of blend it in even further with the watercolor. So I really, really liked how that came out, and I'm so glad, because to be honest, I knew going into this piece that the gouache would be exactly the shade that this sweater is in real life. And so I originally thought I was going to do this entire piece in gouache, and then decided that I'm a lot more comfortable with just watercolor, particularly when doing skin, because I really struggled to paint skin tones with my gouache previously. So I ended up using a mix, and truly I think that that was the right way to go. I'm very happy with how the mix of colors turned out. Compositionally, I'm also pretty happy with this piece. I think it was a fun composition to kind of figure out while sketching, and I do really like the various figures and how cohesive the color palette was. It was a pretty limited color palette, and I think that it worked pretty well. Finally, you see me here adding some black gouache for the details, the glasses particularly. I love the way that my glasses look. I know that sounds really weird. I feel like people don't actually commend themselves on things that they do like very often. It's more often, oh gosh, I hate this about myself, I hate that about myself, but gotta say, love my glasses, and I think that they just suit my face shape very well, and it has been so much fun drawing portraits with my glasses on. Fun fact, random I know, but alas, that's what we have. And I really do think that they kind of like pull the whole face together, especially in these paintings. So let me know if you agree down below in the comments. I just thought it was something funny to kind of note here that I really did like. Additionally, I had so much fun painting the hands. Not even just painting, like drawing the hands on this piece. This was a great sketch to practice drawing hands, and I highly recommend, if you are someone who doesn't like drawing hands, that you do like miniature sketches, because I find that it's so much easier for me to get the hands in like the correct position in a smaller sketch than it is in like a larger, full-blown, just the hand sketch. So that might be something to help you if you are struggling with drawing hands. Personally, I love drawing hands, so I will draw them small, large, individual, as part of a larger piece. But I found that it worked well, so I figured that I would mention it. The last part of this piece is just finishing off all of the black accents. So I liked how this turned out on the top figure, but then when I went back through with the black on the bottom figure, it really messed it up, and it was a little bit disappointing because I went from like gray leggings to weird looking darker gray leggings. So I think if I had just kept them the way that they were and then just had the shadows reflected on the top piece, it would have looked a little bit better. But alas, that is what playing around in your sketchbook is for, is making mistakes. So you can feel free to comment on all of my mistakes down below in the comments, and just know that I really do appreciate you watching this video. I had a great time making this piece, and a great time just kind of going through it and reflecting during this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. I hope that you enjoyed it, and sending you off with a final message here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button if you liked it. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you're interested. I post new videos on art and book related content every Tuesday and occasionally on Fridays. Thank you again. Have a great day. Bye.